Good afternoon folks, 21st Century Caveman here. Hope everybody's well, hope everybody's happy. So I'm out on a short hike this afternoon. Going to be spending the rest of the afternoon and early evening in the woods. So whilst I'm walking to the campsite, just wanted a quick chat with you. So me and Tina were out on a walk several months ago, and on the way down we were listening to the radio in the car. And the presenters of this radio programme were speaking to the parents of a young woman who was out hiking in the UK. Sadly, she ended up getting raped and murdered. Very distressing interview. And it just got me thinking. I mean, how prepared do you need to be when you go out hiking, or you decide to take yourself, perhaps not just yourself, but even with your family or partner? How aware do you need to be of these sorts of situations? Do you need to take anything with you which you can use for self-defence purposes? And the thing is, of course, we're quite fortunate in the UK because we don't have a lot of gun crime, that sort of stuff. Although regrettably, it is, occurring more so. We do get a lot of knife crime though. And I'm just wondering what you guys think, really. I mean, perhaps it's not so bad for a bloke, but I'd certainly say for a single woman who goes out hiking or whatever, running, I think, got to be a bit careful. And obviously there are certain things you can do to try and keep yourself out of trouble and to mitigate a nasty situation. I think it's just a matter of basic common sense to let people know where you're going, give them an idea of when you intend to be back. Sorry, we're going uphill now, which is why I'm breathing quite heavily. And common sense dictates that. Take your mobile with you. Make sure the battery's fully charged. All that good stuff. Because it's obviously not healthy for people to obsess about it. But I think people need to be aware of the risks. Because many people adopt the principle whereby, it happens to somebody else, it wouldn't happen to me. Well, it's got to happen to somebody, hasn't it? So as I say, I don't think people should obsess about it, but I think people should be cautious and be mindful of their surroundings, people they come across, situations they may find themselves in. In terms of things like self-defence, I just wonder whether or not people feel they ought to take certain items with them. So for example, when I go walking, I nearly always have a walking pole. So they're very lightweight, they're extendable, they're convenient to carry, have a sharp point on the end, and obviously they're ideal if you're walking, especially uphill and down. You need something to give you a bit of, to steady your footing, that sort of thing. But also, they are handy because if somebody tried to attack you, you could perhaps use it in self-defence, just try and keep them away from you. And that might be particularly helpful if somebody, for example, came at you or threatened you with a knife. So at least you can keep them a distance from you. In other videos, you may have seen me with walking with a big staff. And once again, the purpose is not to bring these out and use them for self-defence or as a weapon to use against somebody else. They're tools which help me when I'm hiking, that sort of thing, and that's important to make that clear. I'll never take anything out on my travels with the intention of purely using it for self-defence or as a weapon. As I need to make that absolutely clear. But obviously some tools do lend themselves to being helpful if a situation like that should arise. So anyway, look guys, I just wanted to have a chat with you about it, really, see what you think, and just to get some feedback, really. Has anybody been in a situation like that which may have compromised them? You know, do people worry about going outdoors, camping overnight, that sort of stuff? Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for tuning in.